Hi, hello, good morning. This is Neeraja presenting you an animated video of human respiratory system, its structure and mechanism of breathing process. See, how long this lady be active like this? How is she able to do this? What is the reason behind her energies? How energetic she is? Yeah, this is because of the system we have in our body which works 24/7 without any rest. Relentlessly it works and keeps us active by releasing energy. And this energy releasing process from the cells and to keep us active and provide energy to survive and sustain is the respiratory system. See how the lady got recharged with the energy. And this is because of the breath of life, the oxygen, which oxidize glucose present in the cells and release energy. This involves the system called the respiratory system. Now we roll on to see the parts of respiratory system and the mechanism of the breathing process. Are you ready? Here we go. The main organs for respiration are pair of lungs in the human body. In the human body, the lungs are situated in the thoracic cavity. Thoracic cavity is also known as thorax or chest cavity. The thoracic cavity is made up of 12 pairs of ribs on the front side. Below the rib cage is a muscular diaphragm. And behind this rib cage is the backbone, the spine. So, the spine, the backbone, 12 pairs of ribs together forming rib cage and the diaphragm. These three structures protects the lungs from external shocks and injuries. And our right lung is trilobed and the left lung is bilobed. The three lobes of right lung are superior right lobe, upper, inferior right lobe, the lower, and the middle chamber. So, the lung is having three lobes, the right lung, and the left lung is bilobed. The upper, superior, and the lower, inferior lobe. Both the pair of lungs are surrounded by a membrane. The membrane that is surrounding the lungs is called pleural membrane. And trachea extends into the lungs in the form of bronchi. Trachea, when it branches into bronchi and enters into the lungs. Trachea is supported by C-shaped cartilaginous rings which help trachea from collapsing or closing when air enters into this air column or trachea, otherwise called as windpipe. Upper part of trachea is called larynx or voice box. Above that is pharynx. Pharynx is the separating part of trachea from the nasal cavity. Outside the nasal cavity opens by two openings called nostrils. So nostrils, nasal cavity, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, and then air enters into lungs. And when bronchi enters into the lung, it branches into many tiny branches called bronchioles. So, the air which enters into the nostril passes to the nasal cavity, then into the larynx, and then trachea, bronchi, and finally reaches to bronchioles, and then settles in the air sacs present inside the lungs called alveoli. These alveoli are very, very tiny microstructures present in millions in each of the lungs, which are surrounded by thousands and thousands of very thin-walled capillary network. When oxygen reaches to these alveolar chambers, exchange of gases takes place in the alveolar chamber. The oxygen is taken by the alveoli and the carbon dioxide present in the alveoli is sent out. The moment oxygen reaches the alveolar chambers, the red blood cells present in RBC or the red blood cells present in the alveolar chambers absorbs oxygen because RBC contain a respiratory pigment called hemoglobin. The hemoglobin has great affinity to absorb and bind oxygen. The moment oxygen is absorbed by the hemoglobin present in the RBC, the purple color RBC changes into red color and changes into oxyhemoglobin. And this, once the oxyhemoglobin is formed, in the same time the carbon dioxide present in the alveolar chamber is pushed off. And as soon as oxygen is absorbed, the carbon dioxide is pushed off by the process diffusion. There is exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the alveolar chamber. Soon after the gaseous exchange, oxygen is absorbed and the carbon dioxide that is present in the alveolar chamber travels through the bronchioles. From the bronchioles, it enters into the bronchi. From the bronchioles, carbon dioxide is pushed into the bronchi. From the bronchi, it moves to the trachea. From the trachea, you can see the movement of carbon dioxide, the white colored small molecules of carbon dioxide. From the bronchioles, they moved into the bronchi, then into the trachea, and then to the nasal cavities and expelled out through the nostrils. So, expelled carbon dioxide, exhaled. Once we'll see how carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange process goes on. And the process we call as breathing process, which involves 2 steps. The first step is inhalation. During inhalation, the oxygen is taken to the nostrils, enters into the nasal cavity, then into the trachea. From the bronchi, reaches to bronchiole, finally reaches to alveoli. In the alveoli, oxygen is absorbed by the hemoglobin pigment and carbon dioxide is given out. Okay, and then the carbon dioxide that is given out moves into the bronchi, then into the windpipe, then to the nasal cavities, through the nostrils, expelled out. That is exhalation. So inhalation is breathing in oxygen and exhalation is breathing out carbon dioxide. So one breathe in and one breathe out together we call as a breathing movement. Now we will see the functions of respiratory system, the various respiratory disorders generally human beings suffer, and how to maintain the respiratory health in second part of our animated video on human respiratory system. Till then, stay safe, stay home. Bye bye. Nirja signing off. See you soon in the volume 2 of human respiratory system. Bye bye.